There's a land where the jungle hides secrets older than time. What makes Oaxaca different from anywhere else in Mexico? Maybe it's the landscapes that shift from cool highlands to tropical beaches. Maybe it's the ruins that stand as guardians of civilizations long gone. Or maybe it's the festivals that blur the line between the living and the dead. You'll find flavors here that exist nowhere else. You'll hear music that connects centuries in a single rhythm. You'll see colors that don't just decorate, they define identity. Every tradition feels alive, carried proudly by its people. Every legend feels close enough to touch. And every journey here feels like a step into another world. Let's dive into exploring Oaxaca, the untold story behind Mexico's cultural heart. Overview. Oaxaca, in southern Mexico, is not just a place on the map, but a realm of contrasts and wonders. From the first glance, it commands attention with landscapes that feel sculpted by time and myth. Imagine the frozen waterfalls of Hierve el Agua cascading in surreal silence, a natural wonder that defies logic. Just a short journey away, the ancient terraces of Monte Alban rise above the valley, whispering stories of Zapotec kings and priests. The streets pulse with markets so colorful they blur the line between art and life, stalls overflowing with textiles, spices, and handmade crafts. What makes Oaxaca stand apart from every other corner of Mexico? The answer is layered. It is a land where geography shifts dramatically, from rugged mountains to lush valleys, from Pacific shores to high plateaus. This diversity bursts not only landscapes but cultures. Here, 16 recognized indigenous groups keep alive languages, rituals, and traditions passed down for centuries. UNESCO has honored Oaxaca multiple times, recognizing its archaeological sites, traditions, and cuisine as treasures of humanity. To walk through its plazas is to walk into a living museum, yet one alive with music, laughter, and the aroma of mole simmering in kitchens. Oaxaca embodies Mexico's soul but magnifies it into sharper focus. It is both ancient and youthful, solemn and celebratory, sacred and spontaneous. Few regions in the world balance so many identities without losing their essence. That's Oaxaca's secret. It doesn't just preserve culture, it reinvents it daily. So the question remains, what draws so many here, year after year? The answer lies in the way Oaxaca makes you feel both a traveler and a participant in its story. It is a place where history, nature, and humanity fuse seamlessly. Oaxaca isn't just Mexico's cultural heart, it's Mexico at its most alive. Signature cuisine. Oaxaca's culinary map is crowded with icons: mole negro, tamales wrapped in banana leaves, crunchy chapulines, and the endless sensory maze of the Central de Abastos market. Each dish carries centuries of memory, mole layers, spice and chocolate into one of Mexico's deepest sauces, tamales soften corn masa into comfort food, and chapulines turn into protein-rich snacks that surprise outsiders but feel everyday to locals. All of them matter, but it is mezcal that ties the table together and defines Oaxaca's flavor more than anything else. Mezcal begins with agave, a plant that takes years, sometimes decades, to mature. Producers cut the hearts, or piñas, and roast them in earthen pit ovens lined with volcanic rock, burying them under layers of earth and wood. This slow underground cooking is what gives mezcal its signature smoky backbone. Once roasted, the agave is crushed, often by a stone tahona pulled by mule, before fermenting naturally in open-air wooden vats. Distillation follows in small clay or copper stills, a process that feels closer to craft than industry. Unlike tequila, restricted to blue Weber agave and largely industrialized, mezcal embraces diversity. Oaxacan producers distill not only espadín, the workhorse agave, but also wild varietals like tobala, tepestati, and madraquiques. Each species carries its own terroir: floral, the earthy, mineral, or sharp. This biodiversity means no two mezcals are ever quite the same, and tasting them side by side feels like walking through Oaxaca's varied landscapes. Drinking mezcal is a ritual in itself. Locals sip it slowly from small clay copetas or jacaras made from dried gourds, never in rushed shots. The first sip brings smoke and earth, but as it lingers, layers unfold: herbal, citrus, even chocolate notes echoing the soil where the agave grew. A good mezcal isn't just alcohol, it's a conversation between fire, land, and time. Today, mezcal is woven into Oaxacan life as tightly as bread is in Europe or wine in France. It blesses weddings, steadies wakes, and punctuates casual nights among friends. Markets sell it by the bottle, but palanques, the rustic distilleries, offer the truest experience, where families who have distilled for generations pour it directly from glass jugs. In these settings, mezcal is not a trend, but a living tradition, one that defines Oaxaca's identity as clearly as mole or tamales. To taste Oaxaca fully is to taste mezcal. It's not just a drink, it's the distilled essence of a land, a culture, and a people who understand patience, fire, and the poetry of transformation. Landmarks and wonders. Start your Oaxaca journey at Monte Alban, the ancient Zapotec capital etched across a mountain ridge above the valley. From the Grand Plaza, terraces, ball courts, and the skewed, arrow-like Building J reveal how astronomy once organized power. Stone reliefs called danzantes likely portray bound captives rather than dancers, turning sculpture into a record of rivalry and ritual. Centuries later, Mixtec elites reused tombs here, and the famed Tomb's Seven Treasure, gold, jade, and turquoise, links the site to the city's museum today. That continuity makes Monte Alban feel less like a ruin and more like a living archive. Drive east to Metla, a sacred center where architecture speaks in patterns. Entire palace walls shimmer with grecas, mosaic fretwork assembled from thousands of stones set without mortar. The designs recall labyrinths and Greek key rhythms, yet remain distinctly Oaxacan, a visual theology of order and renewal. Rooted in Zapotec priestly tradition and later shaped under Mixtec influence, Mitla's chambers emphasize ceremony and lineage. Walk those columned halls and you can almost read the geometry with your fingertips. Then trade stone for water at Hierve el Agua, where mineral springs calcify into two petrified waterfalls over a pale cliff. Calcium carbonate drapes the rock like frozen silk, a natural sculpture that invites comparison to Pamukkale while keeping an unmistakably Oaxacan palate. Cliff-edge pools let you float above agave fields and serrated mountains. Even the wind seems to choreograph the surface. Back in the city, the Church of Santo Domingo de Guzman rises like a gold-lined reliquary of Spanish Baroque. Its nave bristles with gilded stucco, saints, and vines that catch candlelight and memory. The adjoining former convent houses the Museo de las Culturas de Oaxaca, where the Tomb 7 treasure glitters in historical context. Step next door into the ethno-botanical garden and watch Oaxacan history retold in agaves, cacti, and towering cebas. Finally, heritage turns tactile in the craft villages. In San Bartolo, Coyotepec, artisans fire barro negro in low-oxygen kilns and burnish surfaces to achieve a mirror black sheen. Doña Rosa's mid-20th century polishing technique transformed utilitarian cookware to collectible design. Hold a vessel to the light and obsidian-sharp reflections stare back. Nearby communities weave, carve, and dye, but black clay gives Oaxaca its quietest thunder. String these places together and you witness faith, science, and craft conversing across centuries. That is Oaxaca's secret, a cultural heart still beating because monuments, waters, churches, and workshops keep supplying new blood. mysteries, and legends. The mysteries of Oaxaca are not just archaeological curiosities. They are cultural codes passed down through stories and rituals. The jaguar, for instance, symbolized power across many Mesoamerican societies, but for the Zapotec, it was uniquely tied to shamanic transformation. At Monte Alban, relief carvings reveal human figures morphing into jaguars, suggesting a belief in the fusion of man and beast. Moving to Metla, its subterranean tombs raise more questions than answers. Their perfectly aligned mosaics differ from other pre-Columbian art, leading scholars to compare them to Greek labyrinth designs, possibly symbolizing journeys to the underworld. Monte Alban also preserves evidence of rain rituals, where priests sought harmony with Cochijo, the rain and lightning deity. These ceremonies paralleled those of the Maya, who worshipped Chak, showing a regional dialogue of spiritual practices. Mythology also extends skyward. The Zapotec calendar aligned with the cycles of the sun and moon, embedding astronomy into religion. A lunar eclipse was not just a shadow, it was seen as divine warfare, demanding offerings to restore cosmic order. And then comes mezcal, an everyday drink with legendary roots. Described as the tears of the mountain, its origin story links the sacred agave to divine intervention by fire from the sky. What's striking here is how myth and material reality intersect. Agave is both a staple crop and a spiritual symbol. Unlike European folklore, often confined to literature, Oaxaca's legends permeate cuisine, agriculture, and rituals. They are living frameworks that give meaning to landscapes and daily practices. To study them is not only to uncover history, it's to understand why Oaxaca remains Mexico's cultural heart, a place where myth and life flow seamlessly together. People and lifestyle. The people of Oaxaca are the true guardians of its soul. The Zapotec and Mixtec communities continue to speak their own languages, preserving sounds that have echoed through the valleys for centuries. These languages are not just tools of communication, but vessels of history, cosmology, and identity. Hospitality here is legendary. Visitors are often welcomed like old friends and invited into homes to share a meal. Community spirit is central to Oaxacan life, where neighbors gather for fiestas, markets, and collective projects. Agriculture remains a foundation, with families cultivating maize, beans, and agave in the same fields as their ancestors. Handicrafts are equally vital, from intricate black pottery of San Bartolo Coyotepec to the vibrant textiles of Teotitlan del Valle. Local markets serve as cultural crossroads where traditions are displayed in food, clothing, and storytelling. These markets are not only places to shop, but spaces where identity is lived and celebrated. Spanish colonial influence brought new layers of architecture, religion, and cuisine, blending with indigenous traditions to form something uniquely Oaxacan. Churches stand beside pre-Hispanic ruins, a visual reminder of cultural fusion. Yet, traditions remain strong, seen in rituals, dances, and oral histories passed down through generations. In the city of Oaxaca, modern life hums with cafes, universities, and technology. Still, the heartbeat of tradition remains audible in the rhythm of street festivals and the scent of mole simmering in kitchens. The balance between past and present defines the Oaxacan way of life. Locals take pride in their resilience, often blending modern careers with traditional practices. Young people may attend art schools by day, but return to their villages on weekends for ancestral ceremonies. Music and dance flow naturally in every gathering, creating joy that binds communities. Humor and storytelling remain essential in daily interaction, passing values in subtle ways. Festivals like Guelaguetza highlight both cultural pride and collective generosity. Even in the face of globalization, Oaxacans choose preservation over erasure. Their lifestyle shows that progress does not demand forgetting one's roots. Walking through Oaxaca, you realize its true wonders are not only monuments but its people. Their lives carry the weight of history and the brightness of hope. They are the living story of a cultural heart that never stops beating. Featured animals. Oaxaca is more than festival, food, and history. It is also home to an extraordinary variety of wildlife that reflects the region's cultural and natural heritage. The jaguar, sacred to the Zapotec and Mixtec, remains the most powerful symbol, appearing in ancient carvings, myths, and even the names of local rulers. Although elusive, this spotted predator once roamed the valleys and mountains in great numbers, commanding respect as guardian of the night. Today, small populations survive in protected forests, where camera traps sometimes catch their silent steps. High above, the quetzal dazzles with emerald feathers and a tail that seems crafted for ceremony. Its vibrant plumage was once traded like treasure across Mesoamerica, proving its importance in both economy and ritual. Every autumn, monarch butterflies cross the skies in orange waves, pausing in Oaxaca's pine and oak forests before continuing south. Their migration is one of the most astonishing natural spectacles in the world, and seeing millions of fragile wings shimmering in sunlight feels like watching the earth breathe. Along the Pacific coast, sea turtles return faithfully to sandy beaches such as Mazunte in Escobilla. Villagers guard the nesting grounds at night, ensuring eggs are not taken and hatchlings make it safely to the waves. In Mazunte's warm waters, visitors may also encounter manta rays gliding gracefully, schools of tropical fish flashing silver and blue, and pods of playful dolphins breaking the surface of the sea. The marine life here creates an ever-changing theater, where every dive or boat ride reveals new surprises. It is a place where the ocean itself seems alive with voices, colors, and rhythms that echo Oaxaca's diversity on land. Mazunte is especially famous for its sea turtles, with conservation programs transforming the town into a sanctuary for these ancient mariners. Watching hundreds of hatchlings crawl toward the surf is both fragile and monumental, a reminder of resilience across millennia. For many locals, the turtle embodies renewal, survival, and a promise that the cycle of life will continue. Equally enchanting are the spinner dolphins that thrive in Mazunte's coastal waters. Known for their acrobatic leaps and joyful spins, they often travel in large pods, filling the ocean with energy and sound. Encountering them feels like sharing in a celebration of the sea itself, a dance between freedom and play. In the highland, venomous snakes slither quietly under rocks, feared by many but vital in balancing rodent populations. Without them, crops would suffer and ecosystems would lose their equilibrium. Together, these creatures form a living mosaic where myth and science meet. The jaguar remains the central thread, tying past belief systems to modern conservation efforts. Its role as a keystone predator mirrors its symbolic status as a cosmic traveler between life and death. When combined with the quetzal's brilliance, the monarch's journey, the turtle's endurance, and the snake's hidden power, Oaxaca emerges as a sanctuary of stories told through animals. Each encounter invites travelers to see beyond appearances and into a deeper narrative where culture and ecology are inseparable. For those willing to listen, the growl of the jaguar still echoes in the mountains, reminding us that Oaxaca's wild heart beats just as fiercely as its human one. History and heritage. The region of Oaxaca has been a cradle of civilizations for thousands of years. The Zapotecs were the first to leave their monumental mark, building Monte Alban around 500 BCE. This city was carefully planned, with ceremonial plazas, ball courts, and tombs. Archaeologists regard it as one of the earliest and most advanced cities in Mesoamerica. The Mixtecs later contributed with their extraordinary achievements. They became renowned for their gold work, producing elaborate ornaments for rulers and priests. They also developed a pictographic writing system preserved in codices. These manuscripts provide invaluable records of genealogies, rituals, and myths. With the Spanish conquest in the 16th century, the region underwent dramatic transformation. Colonial authorities built churches, convents, and government buildings on sacred indigenous sites. The main square, or Zócalo, became the center of civic life under Spanish rule. Among the most notable colonial landmarks is the Church of Santo Domingo, with its ornate Baroque facade. Despite colonization, indigenous culture remained deeply rooted. The story of Oaxaca's heritage is inseparable from Benito Juárez, a Zapotec who became Mexico's first indigenous president in the 19th century. His legacy represents both resistance and national reform. In recognition of its historical and cultural value, UNESCO declared Monte Alban and Oaxaca City as World Heritage Sites in 1987. These sites preserve the blending of indigenous and colonial traditions. Today, they attract scholars, travelers, and pilgrims seeking to understand Mexico's roots. The ruins of Monte Alban reveal the ingenuity of ancient builders. The streets of Oaxaca reflect centuries of cultural exchange. Together, they form a living archive of resilience. Oaxaca's history is not static. It continues to evolve with every generation. This enduring heritage explains why Oaxaca is called Mexico's cultural heart. Special plants. Think of Oaxaca's flora as 5 signatures: towering cacti, highland pine oak, bright cempasúchil, stoic agaves, and time-tested medicinal herbs. The most dramatic signature, in the dry valleys, is a forest made of columns. These are not saguaros. Oaxaca's giants belong mostly to Neo-Buxbamia and Picacerius clans. Whole hillsides look like an army of green pillars marching in place. Their ribs expand after rare storms, then tighten to ride out the drought. Waxy skins limit water loss, and shallow, radial roots sip every drop that falls. A mature columnar cactus can stand for a century, rewriting patience in plant form. In the Tehuacan-Cuicatlan region that reaches into Oaxaca, these cacti form near monocultures that still harbor surprising diversity. Interspersed shrubs give shade to seedlings, a botanical mentorship that keeps the forest going. When a column blooms, dozens of creamy flowers open at once along the crown. Night fragrant blooms time their nectar to evenings when the air is cooler. Fruits split to show a red interior packed with seeds that birds spread down the arroyo. Compared with the Sonoran Desert's famous saguaro, Oaxaca's cactus forests are denser and more varied in species. Cacti here frame the agave plots that become mezcal, linking two drought-smart plants in one view. Higher up, pine and oak mark the switch to Sierra Norte, where evergreen needles replace spines. The contrast is cinematic, like cutting from a western to a mountain drama. Fall brings the cempasúchil fields that color the valley floor and scent home altars. Those marigolds are cultivated by the Rao, but their spiritual role makes them as iconic as any cactus. Market tables round out the plant scene with native remedies bundled in palm. Ipazat is sold for digestive teas and cooking, while Arnica mexicana becomes a brew salve. Hierba Santa's heart-shaped leaves are wrapped around fish and also brewed for coughs. Even Tepezco Huita bark powder appears in small packets for skincare. Together, the herb stalls show a pharmacopoeia born from local ecology rather than a factory line. Seen with a filmmaker's eye, Oaxaca's cactus kingdom supplies structure, texture, and a sense of deep time. They are the spine of the landscape, with forests, flowers, and agaves, and medicines branching from that backbone. Culture and traditions. Oaxaca wears its culture like a festival cloak, bold, bright, and hand-stitched with memory. At its center stands the Guelaguetza, one of Mexico's largest and most emblematic celebrations. The word means reciprocal offering, and the festival lives that idea with gifts of dance, music, and food shared across communities. Delegations from the state's 8 regions climb Cerro del Fortín to perform at the Auditorio Guelaguetza. You'll see the Flor de Piña, a choreography from the Papaloapan region, where women dance in embroidered huipiles carrying pineapples as symbols of abundance. From the isthmus, Tehuanas sweep the stage to La Sandunga, lace crowns glinting under the sun. Banda wind ensembles blast brass and clarinets while drums keep a heartbeat that echoes into the city below. The festival is both spectacle and social fabric, weaving villages together the way a loom binds warp to weft. When the season turns to late October, Oaxaca transforms again for Dia de los Muertos. Markets overflow with cempasúchil marigolds, copal incense, and sugar skulls in a palette that could only be Mexico. Families build ofrendas with photographs, candles, pan de muerto, and even a pour of mezcal to welcome returning souls. Neighborhood comparsas, costumed street processions, carry bands through alleys until the small hours, movement turning remembrance into joy. Traditional music ties these moments together with guitars, deep drums, and bright horns. Many ensembles follow indigenous scales and call and response patterns that predate the Spanish conquest. The sound is earthy and ceremonial, yet entirely danceable in the plaza. Art here is not a museum habit. It is a daily practice found in thread and clay. In Teotitlán del Valle, weavers dye wool with cochineal for crimson, indigo for blue, and marigold for gold. Patterns reference mountains, corn, and the Zapotec calendar, turning rugs into portable cosmologies. Backstrap looms in the Sierra Norte produce delicate textiles that move like water when held to the light. In San Bartolo, Coyotepec, artisans shape barro negro, Oaxaca's famed black pottery, then burnish it to a moon-like shine. The polishing technique pioneered in the 20th century gives the pieces their luster, while making them better suited for decorative use than rough kitchen work. Designs range from filigree-cut vases to owls and lamps that throw starry shadows on adobe walls. Compared with tourist carnivals elsewhere, Oaxaca's traditions feel rooted, not staged. Everything here is participation over performance, reciprocity over spectacle. And that is the untold story, a cultural heart that beats because everyone keeps giving something back. Climate and nature. Oaxaca is like a living geography book, where mountains, valleys, beaches, and forests coexist within one state. Few places on Earth can offer such dramatic contrasts, the Sierra Madre del Sur rising like a fortress, while only hours away the Pacific Ocean spreads endlessly. The climate shifts as drastically as the terrain itself, humid and tropical along the coast, cool and refreshing in the highlands. Puerto Escondido, with its world-famous waves, attracts the surfers from around the globe, while Huatulco's bays present calm turquoise waters perfect for family escapes. In contrast, the central valleys around Oaxaca City enjoy a semi-arid climate that favors agave, the very plant behind mezcal. This diversity explains why Oaxaca harbors nearly 50% of Mexico's plant species, an astonishing fact for a single region. Walking through a forest reserve, you might encounter orchids clinging to mossy rocks, while just a few hours away, cactus forests dominate the landscape. It is a paradox that nature here celebrates: tropical jungles next to dry valleys, misty mountains not far from golden beaches. Several natural reserves, like the Sierra Norte, safeguard endangered animals such as jaguars, pumas, and rare birds. For scientists, Oaxaca is a biodiversity hotspot. For travelers, it is pure wonder. Imagine hiking at dawn in a pine forest at 2,500 meters, then swimming in the Pacific by sunset. This duality shapes not only the environment but also local culture, agriculture, and cuisine. Coffee thrives in misty mountains, while cacao belongs to warmer lowlands. The people have long learned to adapt, turning nature's contrasts into resources. Compared to regions like California or Peru, Oaxaca's blend of ecosystems feels almost compressed into one giant natural laboratory. Every valley, every coastline tells a story of resilience and abundance. This unique mix makes Oaxaca not just a destination, but an ecological treasure. To explore it is to step into a world where nature refuses to be ordinary. It is unpredictable, untamed, and breathtakingly alive. In Oaxaca, the climate is not just background, it is the soul of the land. Oaxaca is a place where nature, history, people, and culture come together like threads in a tapestry. Every mountain view, every stone ruin, every market stall feels like part of a bigger picture. To be here is to see Mexico's past and present meet face to face. You don't just walk the streets, you hear stories whispered through murals, music, and food. The mold tells of centuries of kitchens, the textiles reveal generations of artistry, and the festivals carry a spirit that never fades. Oaxaca is not just a city, it's an experience of an entire civilization. That's why travelers say they come for the sights but leave with something deeper. Because Oaxaca connects you not only to Mexico, but to humanity's shared roots of tradition and resilience. This is where the ordinary feels sacred, and the sacred feels alive. Visiting Oaxaca is less about checking places off a list and more about living a story. And that story is still being written. So now, we'd love to hear from you. What part of Oaxaca excites you most? The food, the culture, or the history? Share your thoughts below, and let's keep Oaxaca's story alive together. Our time in Oaxaca leaves us with echoes of tradition and the taste of something timeless. But Mexico is a land of contrasts, and the journey doesn't end here. Far to the northwest lies a world carved by earth, sea, and sky. It feels like stepping into an entirely new story. The landscape shifts, the rhythm changes, yet the wonder remains. It's a place that reshapes what you think you know about Mexico. Every horizon carries both beauty and mystery. It calls to adventurers with a spirit as wild as the land itself. Where silence meets power, discovery begins anew. And that's where we're heading next, Baja California.